more now on the ban of live sheep exports from Australia from 2028. Steve Maguire is a sheep farmer from the Great Southern region of WA. He joins us now from Koojunnup, southeast of Perth. Steve Maguire, welcome. So how important has the export trade been to you over the years?
It plays an important role in our system. It's basically our get out of jail card. They take the merino weather hogger, which the processors don't want, and it creates flexibility in our system. And if we have a dry year or we have issues or there's a problem with processors, we can get rid of sheep quite quickly. So it's an important part of our risk management of our business.
Yeah, and so my next question was going to be what % of your annual income has it been? And I guess taking into account what you just said there, it kind of really fluctuates over the years?
Yeah, it definitely does. It depends. Sometimes I take weather hoggers, sometimes I'll take lambs. Yeah, it does fluctuate a lot, even some crossbred sheep. But it is just an important part of managing the risk of our business.
Yeah, and so up to what percentage of your income would it be? Will it be kind of up to 20% in a year in its biggest year?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, about that. So are you, this ban is due to come into place now in 2028. Between now and then, are you going to be able to make that up by selling your sheep or meat elsewhere?
Yeah, look, we can shift to a different system. We'll probably have to drop a lot of wool out of the system, which is very disappointing. Love growing wool. It's a fantastic product. We grow the best wool in the world, but the risk involved in producing a merino weather that we can't sell creates too much risk. So I'd like to move towards a lamb fattening system, which the rest of the world does, but that's quite hard in our environment that we have. So once again, it just increases the risk of our business. So whether we look to more cropping instead, because we also crop as well.
Right, and so what do you make of the government's compensation plan?
It's a joke, absolute joke. It's nowhere near enough. None of that money is for farmers. A third of it actually stays in Canberra. It's a piddling amount compared to what's required.
What about ongoing concerns about animal welfare on these journeys? There was that case several years back, which was undoubtedly really rough on the animals. What's happened in the meantime, and what about some ongoing concerns from some sectors about animal welfare?
Well, firstly, that footage was from a ship's employee who was paid to get it. Really questioned how he was looking after those sheep. So he was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for that footage. So you have to take that into account when you look at it. But since then, we've had the moratorium over the summer months. I know the people that work on those boats, and I know the vets that work on those boats. The sheep travel in excellent conditions. They're well looked after. They unloaded. They gain weight. And there isn't an animal welfare concern. This is not about animal welfare. This is purely about politics. It's about the government trying to get votes in inner-city seats in Sydney and Melbourne to fight off the Greens. And we are just being thrown under the bus just to partake for that. And that's what's so hard about it is that we know that we've got the facts, data and science on our side, but we are being completely ignored. And just the contempt that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Agriculture has treated us and treated people in our area it is disgraceful. I mean, the communities are really going to suffer. As a farmer, I'll probably be okay, we'll manage, we'll survive, but we're going to lose so many shearers and people that work in our towns. It's really going to affect our towns in a huge way, and they're already struggling. And it's just completely unnecessary.
What about the government's argument that the sheep meat trade is where all the growth is anyway?
So we had 12 million sheep in WA about a year or so ago. We're now down to 9 million. We're projected to go to 7 in a couple of years. So how can you have more jobs and more meat when the shift of the flock is decreasing by 40%? It is a complete lie. It is a lie that there's overwhelming support for this. There is not. That was all based on a survey of 800 people by RSPCA. It is a lie. There'll be more jobs. There'll be a lot less jobs. There'll be less jobs in shearing, transport, ancillary industries, and in meat processing, because there's going to be a lot less sheep. So the whole thing is just a charade.
So we heard earlier in a media conference today from different sectors in the export trade in Canberra about the political strategy with this. you're obviously pretty passionate about this. Are you going to be out there pounding the streets trying to convince people to vote out this government as well on the basis of your passion about this particular issue?
Absolutely. We're coming for them. And personally, I won't be in Perth handing out how to vote cards. I reckon I'll get on a plane and I'll fly to Sydney at my own expense and find a marginal electorate over there, and I'll be standing there saying, put Labor last, they hate farmers. And it's not just about live sheep export. There's a number of issues across Australia where the government is just not listening to farmers. This is the most anti-farmer government we've had in over 50 years. They are treating us farmers across Australia with complete disrespect. They are not listening to what we're saying. They are just screwing us over from end to end, from one side of the country to the other. There was a motion of no confidence against this government recently. They are just shocking for farmers. And people don't understand. This is where your food comes from. You're worried about cost of living now and how much your food's costing now. Wait till when half the farmers are gone. They are just, you need to start listening to people that grow your food. They need to understand this impacts everyone in Australia. They just need to start listening. If they won't change their mind, we need to change the government.
Okay, Steve Maguire, thanks for talking to us from Koojunnup in WA.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.